because music is not in its prime state right now. This is like the lowest state I've ever seen music, in my entire life. So maybe we need AI to shake things up or do something different.
All right, Seth. First off, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit with us, man. I've been spending time with the VBDC story and listening to the music. And what stands out isn't just the sound, man. It's the intention behind it. There's a real sense of honesty, reflection, and willingness to evolve without losing the roots. I don't want this to feel like a standard interview or a press run. I'm more interested in reasoning behind the music, the experiences that shaped it, and how time has been moving through you as an artist and as a person. So I'm definitely glad that you took the time to come out, and we'll just take this conversation. No rush, no scripts, just let it unfold naturally. So how you been feeling this week?
Oh, I'm feeling great, man. And thanks all first for having me here. And hello to all the audience and the people of the Reggae Hour podcast. And I love that introduction. That was a very, very thoughtful introduction, man. Thank you.
Oh yeah. I do my research. I know I kind of been busy and touch and go, and we've been trying to do this for a couple of months now. But I've been listening to your music ever since you dropped the album with Eric Sermon. Loved it. Loved it.
Keith Murray. Keith Murray.
Keith Murray. I said Eric
All
Sermon.
right.
I mean, I just watched the video with Eric.
Yeah, no, that's all right. They're homies. He produced Keith's first three albums, I think. So
right,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, the hip hop history coming back to me now.
That's a guy that I'm from the East Coast. So I'm from New York. So
Okay.
like he's like a like a real superstar to me. I still remember I was driving to my girlfriend's house in Staten Island, I think 1992 or 93, and I was early and she wasn't there or something. So I went to Sam Goody. I don't know if you remember, you used to go to Sam
Oh
Goody
yeah,
and you put on the headphones, listen to everything. And
everything.
I already loved Get Lifted and Most Beautifulest Thing. So I just actually bought that album sight unseen. And I went and I listened to that in my my little Jeep Wrangler as I drove to my girlfriend's place, and I was like, wow, this guy's like my spirit animal, man. He's like talking directly to me, like so honest, and like such an interesting viewpoint and stuff, and just like something I'd never heard in hip hop. It's kind of common now. It's like part of like the underground backpack scene to be like real honest and self-effacing, and but at the same time, like tough and streets, and it just had everything for me. So it was always a dream of mine. I was like, I wonder if it's possible. And then one day I just found his manager's Instagram, and that's how it started.
Oh man, right there,
Yeah.
Instagram, right there, making connections.
Yeah, and we actually recorded that verse of his, or he went on the whole song. Actually, we recorded that in 2019. So, and then the
Oh
whole
wow.
lockdown and everything happened. So we kind of
Yeah.
sat on that one for a while, and it became a remix, and other things happened, and then we got to do the music video and everything. So yeah, it's pretty wild, man. Pretty trippy, honestly. Life gets pretty trippy the older you get.
It's facts right there. I mean, right there, just to be able to work with somebody that you idol like for a while right now. You I'm pretty sure you took some elements of that hip hop that you heard through him and placed it into your music.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I was a huge hip hop guy in the '90s. I mean, I was like, I grew up on classic rock, and then I had "Raising Hell" Run DMC on cassette. I remember,
Oh
you know what I mean.
wow.
I was like one of like the first
Yes.
hip hop albums you could buy. You know what I mean? Like, and then so I was into it from up until like 1995, when I feel like that kind of fell off. And that's something I'll say. That I do feel like genres have their time in the sun, and then they kind of retreat, and sometimes they just go away forever or have to get rediscovered in the future. But it's like you can really feel it the longer you've been around. You're like, wow, this genre is really having its like its time in the sun right now, and then it's got to kind of something else is going to come up, So there,
Exactly.
yeah. So I felt like I really was there in New York, enjoying hip hop in its peak, but always into rock and alt rock and grunge. And it's funny. The first reggae I was ever really familiar with, aside from like Bob Marley songs that were on the classic rock radio, would have been Dance Hall Sundays on Hot 97 in New York. So like before I even knew there was different genres of reggae, I was listening to a lot of dance hall reggae. And like just like Beanie Man, Elephant Man, Tenor Saw, Buju Banton, Bounty Killer, just all that stuff, So I was like, I didn't really know it was reggae. I thought it was just some kind of hip hop. Honestly, I was like not paying enough
Right.
attention. But that was my like introduction way back in the day. So I love all kinds.
That's what's up. So
Yeah.
tell me about your transition from dancehall into actual reggae to do
No, man,
dub.
I still do all kinds of music, honestly. Like I'll do like a metal song and just not release it or something. Like I've always loved just like the freedom to do exactly what you want to do. And when it comes to like like reggae roots, it's like like I have to keep distinct in my head like reggae the genre of music and like reggae the kind of Jamaican culture. And by the way, there's like all different Jamaican cultures that don't even agree with each
Mhm.
other. Some people are beef patty, some people are ital is vital, you know what I mean? So it's not
Yes,
like
yes.
Jamaicans move as one like super organism. I have people ask me like, what do Jamaicans think of like of me doing dance hall? I'm like, which one? You know, like
Right.
there's people in Jamaica that don't even know anything about reggae or doing they're into jazz or something else. It's just human beings, you know. So I try to keep reggae the genre, like the style of music, where downbeat is the upbeat. From African music, you know, you have the skank and the bang on the 2 and the 4, and instead of the, you know what I mean. So it's like that's the genre of reggae to me. You know, it's like a mixture of African music and blues and R&B and stuff like that. And then there's like the different Jamaican cultures, which I don't belong to any of them. You know, like I'm straight up American. So, but you know, so I always try to keep those ideas separate in my head because like I want to explore ideas that aren't present and like aren't represented in reggae, you know, or like whatever I feel like talking about. So I really don't think there's any boundaries or limits to it. And you don't have to get like intimidated by like an existing scene and feel like you've got to find your lane within that. You can, if you feel like you have a good direction that you're going anyhow, I say it's always better to like go, you know, march to the beat of your own drummer.
That's a good way to look at it. I mean, you have a lot of different styles out there, and the reason why art exists is because everybody is versatile in their own right, in their
Right.
own way. So if
So
you're not allowed to
I don't
be,
know if you agree with me, but to me, roots is like the reggae plus the Jamaican culture is like that's
yes,
how I kind of equate it in my head, you know,
oh yes,
like
definitely,
the
because
tradition.
without the Jamaican culture, there wouldn't have never been roots, because roots was it was pretty much raised out of the struggle
Yeah.
of being a Jamaican. Pretty much, yeah. So the Jamaican culture is tied into the history and the struggle of Jamaican
Okay.
people, and they express that through roots reggae, through ska. You know, ska was before actual roots reggae, and
Sure.
they
Yeah. Yeah.
use that to actually get out the house and get away from their problems and forget about the struggles that they was going through. So it's they say that anybody can use it. They made it for the world, but to say that you are like the roots,
Mm.
you can't no, but they
I never
love.
even knew that, but I mean, you know, I should.
Well, the reason why you probably don't know it is because you never crossed that line for somebody to have to tell you.
You know, I do often. I'm a person who catches a lot of static always throughout life. Like I people do tell me a lot of things. So it is possible that someone has told me, don't do this, don't say that, don't claim this. And I'm just kind of like blah, 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 you know. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It's good to know the history either way, you know, but it's also good to be an iconoclast, you know, so it's good to both. You can't be an iconoclast if you don't understand, you know, what you're diverging from in the first place. So you got to know what's going on, you know.
That way you can properly contribute to it.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
more than anything, more so than just even if you're Jamaican and you're claiming roots, I think like the most important thing is to understand like the meaning of what you're doing. Cause like a lot of people, you know, will say they want to be like they're headed towards Zion, they're against Babylon, all this stuff. But it's like you got to be really careful because if you're just going along with what sounds good, and I think, you know, that probably is good, but if you don't know the reasoning behind it, then you're going to become the kind of person that's easy to persuade and you're going to wind up going with something that's bad. People are going to take advantage of your good intentions. So as long as you think about what you're doing and you're like living consciously and making conscious decisions, and that, you know, I think that's good. So you know, reggae has a lot of positive messages in it, but you got to think them through yourself. You can't just trust the artist, the singer, you know, because I met a lot of these guys backstage. Trust me. No, I'm just joking.
and that's the truth though. I mean, that's in the message behind it is what you actually should be absorbing, but you have to dissect it and understand how that message works for you. And like you said, them buzzwords, Babylon and
Yeah,
Zion, and they bless up and big ups, and
yeah,
people say they hear the language and it's
yeah, yeah.
beautifully crafted, and
Mhm.
they you know they fall in love with the language, but they
Yeah.
fall in love with the vanity of it,
The
the vain
style,
part, the style, you
the
know.
fashion.
And
Yeah.
for them it becomes a fad, and then that
Mm,
what they say about fads, they pass away, you
that's
know.
true.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why,
yeah.
yeah, that's why I'm so glad when I was listening to y'all, because I was
I
at work,
appreciate
just
you,
I
man.
had it in my ear and I was listening. I was like, see, now this right here, I can blend this in seamlessly with the rest of the music that I play and not have to worry about taking away or diverting from it. So we're like, we could tell you did your research on it. And like with your when you look at your journey with Venice Beach Dub Club, like who were you trying to be when you first started?
Well, it wasn't what I was trying to be. It's what I was trying to do. You know, I was trying to enjoy my life more and kind of provide something. And above everything, I've been doing music my whole life, and it's always been an attempt I figured out to communicate with people. Like I have these complicated ideas, I'm like kind of like a solitary person. I love to walk and just think without even headphones and just having conversations in my head, try to think through stuff. And I love philosophy and stuff like that. And if you try to like tell one of your friends something that you've been thinking about, like they don't take you seriously because they know you, they've seen you get drunk or trip or fall down, you know what I mean, fart or something. So they're like, they don't take you seriously. A stranger will take you more seriously. But if you really want to communicate with people, you got to kind of let them discover it themselves. So that's what art is, you just make the song and don't say anything and let them, go through it themselves and forge through it themselves and derive their own meaning from it, and then they have an attachment to it. So music for me, as well as any other kind of art I ever did, is just an attempt to communicate with people, really, to reach people.
I love that you said that because the way that's why I like to do my interviews post song release. Whenever you got to, I would promote it for you, but let's do the interview afterwards because we want people to get their own story off of your song. That way, when you're telling your story, they go, "Oh my God, I can relate. I know exactly what he's talking about," because they just got through feeling it by listening to your music. So let me tell you, who did you have to like get rid of in yourself in order to become the artist that you came today?
Oh, like how did what kind of changes or what did I have to leave
Mhm.
behind? Ah,
Yeah.
man. A lot of it is you have to come to terms with like I've been in a lot of different music scenes, you know what I mean? So it's like you start to see after a while a scene is a scene is a scene, you know what I mean? So like if you're very focused on a scene and your place in that scene, you're going to be kind of performing like a cog, you know what I mean? Cuz everyone in the scene is doing the same stuff. They want to go up, they don't want to go down, they want to know the cool people, they want to go to the green room. Like everyone's trying to do the same thing. Rock, punk, reggae, everyone's there for a reason. They're playing their role in that scene. But if you approach it like that, then that's what you're right away your creativity is stifled because you're just going to be filling like a known role. So but what I really had to get rid of was like how it feels. um am I being accepted day to day? Like, are the people immediately around me understanding my music, or do they think it's bad or wrong? Do they think it's controversial, or I have a mixed up idea? Or do they want to talk to me about it or anything, or how do they feel about it? But like there's like 8 billion people in the world, so like if you're just focused on the little scene you're at and being the man in that scene, you're really limiting your creativity and your potential with that. So I had to like let go of there's things I could do to like play more shows and do more support and do get different features or do features or stuff. But like I'm really just focused on like making the best product I can, just for like its own merit. And I'm also 49 years old, so I'm not like as super concerned with being cool anymore. But yeah, I'd say that's what I had to leave behind, was just like the everyday feelings of like who the 10 or 12 people in my life that are important to me. Like how are they, like how much am I kind of constraining myself like for their opinions, or just for like the little scene wherever I'm at Venice or something. Like does that really matter that much? So I don't know if I'm answering your question right, but I mean I still feel like I have a lot of things in myself I need to let go of. And self honesty is like if you're honest with yourself and you're trying to improve yourself and not get dragged down, that's like a lifetime process. So you never want to get too confident and feel like you're doing great at
Right.
it.
Right. You got to keep growing. You
You got to
got to
be
keep
humble.
growing.
Humility is like a very
Mhm.
important thing, and like it'll make your music better too. Humility. If you become very self assured or very confident, you know what I mean. Or if people are telling you everything you're doing is great. I mean, you see how a lot of like amazing artists fall off and start putting out bad albums. The people around them must be telling them they're good. Something's going
Yep.
on. So yeah.
That's exactly truth. I mean, you pretty much just segued into the next part of what I was going to ask because
Oh, good.
you speak truth whenever I'm listening to your music. It's like it carries a sense of truth speaking that feels like it's been lived in and not really theoretical. You play the instruments on and like tell me about the instruments that you play. Like which instruments do you actually play on your
Uh, like
tracks?
I play the rhythm guitar on the tracks, but I write all the instrumental parts. And we've been well, my producer Big G, he's like a guitar virtuoso, so he plays lead guitar, and then between the two of us, we track the keys for the most part on ourselves. Now, there's certain songs where I'm like, this song, the keys are important, like so I'm going to bring in David Grospe or one of my friends to like play some boogie woogie blues or whatever I want. But for like the average, I don't even want to say roots, but for the average reggae song, if it's just a skank and a bang, it's like we can, using MIDI to fix it, we can make like a really solid, good sounding piano and organ tracks and stuff like that. So it's mostly like me, Big G, and sometimes Ben G, who plays bass. But I'm for the most part writing all the music for all the instruments, and we start from there. But Big G does a lot too.
Right, right. That's the way that you was able to actually put these pieces together. You say you write the all the instrumentation. That right there has to take some kind of like
Autism.
I was gonna say more life experiences, you know.
Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
But autism, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
like an
I'm
intense
autistic.
focus, like getting really sucked into something, where the time
Yes.
flies by and you can just do it. It's a really cool thing about life is when you discover there's something you can do. You know what I mean? And like then that is like, boy, is that a saving grace? Because instead of playing video games or whatever, you're actually being productive. You're like, wow, I feel good. Like I'm able to do this. It's everything's clicking and falling into place. You want to do it more. So like songwriting is like that for me, where I've never had writer block in my life. I have the exact opposite problem, which is like I'm like haunted and hassled by new hooks coming all the time. You know what I mean? So it's like I put my little voice notes. I probably have like 1,000, and then when there's something I actually want to proceed with, I'll take it to Big G's and we'll put down the skeleton of it, and then I'll start writing the lyrics for the verses and stuff, which usually takes a long time.
Right. Usually takes a long time.
The
Like just tell me
verses.
right.
Instant choruses, very slow verses, because the verses have to be as good as the chorus, but the chorus is
Yeah.
like divined from like the ether, so it's like pretty good.
Now tell me about your writing style. Like because I know some people what they do is they like when I was doing hip hop, I would write a verse, but then I would pick it apart. And what I mean by that is sometimes I would take the first line and make it the last line, take the middle line, make it the first line, just and just work it
Wow.
around. Tell me about your writing style.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the hooks usually come on their own with no effort. And then the verses, I'll just, once I have the skeleton of the music just in my head bouncing around, all I need is like one line to start with, like a rhythm, like the rhythm of like, da, 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 da. I'm like, all right, now I have like a little rhythm. You know what I mean? And like, what are the first two lines? And then you're like, oh, maybe the one goes up the melody, da, 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 and the next one, da, 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 da. So you're like, now I've got that melody. There's like the first half of the verse is going to work pretty well like that. And then for the second half, you need some kind of a change, something to freshen it up. Like maybe it's like a harmony, and now you have like a more sing-songy part at the second half of the verse. Or maybe the first half of the verse is kind of like very contemplative, and the second half is like almost like more like a rap or something. And there's a lot of songs where you can only write one verse, and you're like, man, no matter what I do, the second verse is going to be trash compared to the hook in the first verse. It's never going to happen. And then thank God for features. Let's see what someone else thinks of this rhythm and what they're going to do on it. But yeah, I mean, writing is everything, man. And reading, obviously you have to read a lot before you write, or you're not going to. I mean, I was in bands when I was like 15 years old, and then I had writer's block because I didn't know anything. So it's like, I could still come up with the music and the hook, but the verses would just be like literally gibberish, like meaningless. So you're right. You have to have a lot of experiences and learn how other people think and stuff. But yeah, verses, it's like very intimidating because you start with nothing, and then you get one little idea and you're like, all right, it's got a rhythm to it, it's got a little melody to it. Now I've got like a handhold, and like you said, like sometimes you want to go back and fix things forever. Every song, I feel like there's a part in the second verse that isn't right. You know what I mean? Like that second verse, there's like one line where you're like, it's really not cracking like the rest of the song is. It's not perfect. And you're like, eventually I'm just going to have to release a song with this one word or line. I'm not 100% on. And then a month after you release, you're like, oh, I got it. Damn it. You want to like pull it back, upload it and do it again, but I mean, that's something I have to let go of myself is perfectionism and just be productive, which is something I've really been doing with this project. We put out like 45 songs in 5 years. So we're cooking, and a lot of that is like leaving things at 99% perfect.
Right. I feel that. And y'all like to blend genres that don't
Yeah.
naturally coexist, man.
Oh
Like
yeah. Thank you.
what kind of inner contradictions or like identities inside of you make that fusion even inevitable or like how did you put that together?
Man, I mean, a lot of it starts with like what's like the vibe. Like a good example off this of the second album, our new album is "Good Advice" featuring Chicano Rock, which is kind of like it starts with like a drum machine. It's got acoustic guitar, kind of like finger picking in it. It's got a boom bap like drum machine, and then it's got like a Mexican guy rapping. It's got us singing kind of really whiny country harmonies and stuff. But everything is like of one vibe. Like a lot of hip hop and country is like trying to stay positive while the world's like collapsing on you. It's like kind of the same thing. So it's like, how would these country guys and this guy from the barrio, they're singing the same song together. They feel the same way. They've got the same vibe, and it reflects the vibe. The music is kind of a mashup of different things too. So that's a good example of, I have these influences and I've listened to all these different kinds of music, so it's available there. But I don't set out to like combine things in weird ways. Sometimes it's just like it goes in that direction. It's like we could do this, like we could put a little ska section, but we could put a bossa nova. I mean, we could do whatever. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of this stuff, so that we could do whatever we want. We could have a dance hall song and put a little bluegrass breakdown. I mean, I probably won't, but it's like we could. All this stuff is options. Then you just remember that you're like, yeah, we could put a little disco on the drums here with the open hi hat, and get it like a little dancey in this part. So if you have the vocabulary of music and you're open minded and listen to all kinds of music, you build up this arsenal of moves, and you have like a million things you could do at any point of the song. So it is when it's organic and you can combine things or do something fresh and new that people haven't heard, a style just like that. I mean, that to me is a blessing, because that's how new genres get started and stuff. There's not a huge difference between soca and calypso. Somebody made one calypso song that sounded a little different. People called it soca, and now you got 90,000 people in a soccer stadium dancing to soca. So it's like that's how everything starts. Just trying something new, and like maybe it has some traction or people feel it.
See that right there, and not to veer off and talk about this too much, but this is exactly a conversation I was having with somebody earlier, another musician, matter of fact, and they was complaining about the music industry now signing these AI artists and stuff like
Mm,
that.
yeah.
And I kept telling them, man, like I get the music industry is they're cornering a market share that essentially was yours, but you got to remember something: they can't create like you. They
Yeah.
would never be able to create like you. They need you to create, because if you create something
Yeah.
new, that's how the new AI. You got to keep creating. Don't I stress that to a lot of people a lot. Don't let what's happening in the AI world stop you from creating. It's not going to hinder on your creations.
Yeah, I agree. And also compete with it, by the way, because like some of the stuff sounds not bad. Somebody's playing me like some 50 Cent, but like I heard it on Joe Rogan, but in like kind of like a jazz cabaret style or something. I was like, whoa, it's, compete. You better compete. You know what I mean? Because like the cream does tend to rise to the top. If the AI is that good, just get better.
Yeah. Exactly. And you always going to have your fans. They're never going to go anywhere. If you actually make that genuine connection, you're always going to have your fans. So that's something that every artist should be working on, is connecting with their audience. Like, tell me some ways that you connect with yours.
I'll be 100% honest with you. That's like my least favorite part of it, and feels totally forced. Like I'm a very antisocial, like solitary person. So like I hate nothing more. What's up, fam? I hate that. If I ever catch myself saying "What's up, fam," I'm like, just start over and talk normal, bro. Like who's influencing you? I don't want to be an influencer like that. But it didn't exist back in the day. Like imagine imagine Bob Marley going on Instagram and begging people to vote for him to be on some reggae festival or something. I mean, it's very embarrassing and kind of like demeaning, honestly. I think, I mean, music has like unbelievable intrinsic value, but the market value of it is very low. You pay 99 cents for a song and you get free refills for life, bro. Where can you get free refills from life? And by the way, you get free refills on a beer. What did it cost to produce one cup of beer? One millionth of a penny. And what does it cost to produce a song? It might be 10, 20,000 bucks. And then you buy it once for 99 cents to get free refills. But I mean, if you love making music and love making art, you're already an irrational person, so it's like there's nothing that should stop you from doing it if you enjoy it and you feel passionate about doing it, and that's how you like to spend your time. I mean, making art is completely irrational. So you know just expecting you're going to get some guaranteed return from it or something. I mean, you got to get a different kind of job for that, or like a yeah and art is like that, man. Art is how we give meaning to like a mechanical world. I mean, otherwise it's just science and you're just figuring out how everything works, but nothing will ever have any meaning to it. It's up to the artist to interpret that and give it an emotional weight and some kind of impact that sticks to you, So, I mean, it's part of nature. It's part of humanity. Like art is an important aspect of development and communication that we can't leave behind. And I hope in the future that AI is like a useful tool once it's actually intelligent. It's not intelligent right now. Like you said, it's just farming, next word off of search engines and training data and stuff. But eventually it will be, more creative. And I think that'll be maybe even save music, because music is not in its prime state right now. This is like the lowest state I've ever seen music, popular music, especially, in my entire life. So maybe we need AI to shake things up or do something different. I'm not saying that's the case, but it's a possibility that it'll help.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I love the synthesizer. I love that how the synthesizer is used in order to make instrumentals and things of that nature. But some people take it too far and they make the whole. You could tell the whole thing is electronic.
Yeah.
Now that's great for some genres. Some
Yeah. Yeah.
genres that is their base. That's
Yeah.
exactly what they
Mhm.
need. But when you took something that was naturally, it had a band with natural
Yeah.
instruments and that natural
Mhm.
sound, and now you're running it through all of this
Yeah.
electricity and making it into electronic sounds. It took something away. And I think when it took something away, it taught that people can now just put out anything. And it's great. I want everybody to have a voice, but do everybody need a voice?
Well, you got two separate concepts there, I think, right? One is like when you create synthesized music, you're losing something from the organic music. But I think there's like it can. I think it's like it can be really they can really contrast each other really nicely. Like you can have like a room recording like Night Nurse where everyone's playing their instruments together, and then this without the synthesizer, it's just another rhythm. So and that it's kind of like a contrast. And that song is like the most '80s reggae song. So here comes Night Rider cruising through. It lets you know where you are in time and where you are in the human experience to have these new instruments and new technologies. But you're right. Then people lean on that too heavy, and you have a whole generation of hip hop that's auto tuned, and it's like a real damn shame. You know what I mean? It's like, but that is the second point you're coming to, which is like how the platforms function and how they allow these AI artists. That's another thing, man. That's just people caught up behaving badly. So, and that's never going to go away as long as there's people. There's going to be people messed up and doing things wrong. And, I don't want to judge them for it. That's just something that you have to budget into what you're going to overcome to do what you want to do. And it's always been that way, that the nature of the challenge changes, but the challenge of people behaving badly is not going away. So it's like, you always have to, you got to contend with that, so Spotify is really bad behavior and not thought out well. And I think even the owner of the CEO and the president of Spotify kind of understand that something's got to change, so who knows what's going to happen with the state of music, but I'm hoping that people decide on their own to value it more. Even though a song's only 99 cents, I would love to see a donation model where people can pay whatever they want for a song. Like, let's put the bass at 99 cents. Like, guess what? Like, I've done okay in my life. Like, if you put out a beautiful song, I'd like to pay you more than 99 cents for it. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
maybe that's an opportunity,
Exactly.
Bandcamp model or something like that. But I don't know.
Mhm.
Let's see what happens,
Yeah. I mean, we have all this pressure on artists that,
Yeah.
to either wither away or grow or either harden or even dilute.
Yeah.
Like, what are some things that you had to find out you had to protect about yourself
Well,
in order to be
yeah,
able
I
to keep
mean, you led me right into this, which is if you're a very artsy person, you know what I mean? What are the odds that you're also going to be awesome at like image management and like A&R and like uploading the distribution, like whatever it is, like those are totally like one's a left brain thing, one's a right brain thing. Like there is a type of guy that's super good at wearing suits and doing A&R and doing and loves it and wants that to be their life. And that person is usually not like a reggae artist, you know what I mean? So the way it's set up now, if you have any song and you're excellent at the marketing, you're going to do way better than someone with an excellent song who's not good at marketing. So that's not good, but I think I think that's just where we're at temporarily. We have a lot of artists who are really just excellent at marketing themselves, and but the quality of the music or the writing isn't really there. So I think that the market will adjust for that, and people hopefully we'll start to value music more again,
Mhm.
and expect more from it. And we should expect more from it.
Exactly. I mean, if music isn't really teaching you something, it's really just, even when you're out there dancing, you're that's a workout in itself. So you're getting healthy, you're burning calories, you're sweating, and so that right there, dance music, that's helping you. Music that doesn't make you dance but makes you contemplate, puts you in, like you said, you're a philosophical person, you like to sit and you like to think about things. If music can't get you thinking or dancing, it can't feed you, it can't give you anything to drink.
Yeah.
So what else is it good for? Like, how else can it help you if it's not doing those two things? Now, I want to be clear, like you do roots reggae. I've heard your roots reggae and this wonderful roots reggae. And in your roots reggae, I can hear some kind of like defiance in it.
Oh,
Like
I got you.
yeah, do you experience your music more as like a resistance, healing, or like survival? And how has that answer changed over the years?
Man, it's complex because like when you're like 16 years old, you're like, we need a revolution, and then somebody comes along with like a nursery rhyme. They're like, you need a revelation before, and you're like, oh my gosh, now you know what I mean. And it's like, so some people never figure that out. I know like 65-year-olds like revolution. It's like, dude, you'd be in so much trouble if there's a revolution. Like, you know what I mean? You're not in good shape. You don't have any emergency water or anything. You know, you'd be done. But so it's like but yeah, I've always been iconoclastic, and I remember when I was 5 years old in kindergarten, and they went around the room, they asked everyone what they wanted to be, and people were going to be astronauts and presidents, and I was like, this is nonsense. And then they came to me, and I said Santa Claus. I want to be Santa Claus because you know what I mean. I like he's just flying his sleigh, he's giving gifts to kids. Like I was 5 years old, I was like, I want to be Santa. Like you can't be Santa. I was like, you're a kindergarten teacher. No one wants to be that. No one raised their hand. No one wants your job. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. So, and then I didn't color in some balloons on the last day of kindergarten. So I didn't get to go to like like some party where they had the pocket lady who's got her pockets filled with like bird whistles and stuff. It was like a big thing you wanted to do. And I had to sit there in a dark room looking out the window at everyone playing. And I was like, 13 more years of this, 13 years. And then I dropped out when I was 18. So I was just kind of biding my time, it's like, get me out of here. But like, I do feel like the natural urge to resist, negativity and ignorance and stuff like that. But I'm so aware of like, common traps that everyone has to go through philosophically. Like you got to step in this hole to get out of this hole and fall into the next hole and climb out of that one. You don't just get to go to the finish line and understand everything. So I'm very careful to be like, I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't know if my message is perfect. And that's what my message really is like, I'm being as honest as I can, like, and just encouraging people try to think like, this sounds like I'm pedantic, like I'm telling people to think or something, but it's just like get away from the surface thing, get away from the catchphrase, the tagline, you know what I mean, and just think about it one level deeper, or just have one more minute of patience, or think about it one more second before you do something. Because music does really have a big influence on people. If you tell them to go out there and get in the streets, I mean, they will. But like, I just want people to think for themselves and to it's a skill. Like thinking is like a skill. You're not just like born with it. So that's I would feel more company in life if other people thought more. So it's like that my music is trying to encourage people to be more, just think more, like not that they're bad or they're wrong or they're dumb. I'm not calling anyone dumb at all, but just like you should do a lot of thinking in your life. Like think about something and think it again. Think about how the opposite of it. Think of the people who disagree. How do they? You know what I mean? And just really don't get overconfident. So that's like that's what the message of my music is kind of transformed into, is like the journey is the message. Whereas like the first album, it was more like message driven. Like we had the first song is like Smoke and Mirrors. It's like an anti-Babylon song. It's a really good song, good lyrics and everything, but it's kind of basic, like surface level thinking, So I wouldn't do that again. The next song would be about there's a song on the second album, the Simpkin Project, called Change Yourself. So that's I think is the real revolution, is just the only thing you can really control in nature is what's inside your, or it might not actually be inside your head, but whatever it is, your consciousness, your inner experience, that's the only thing you have any control over. So only by changing yourself can you affect the outside world. I really believe that. So it was just about putting that message into a digestible form. So it became, if you want to change the world, you got to change yourself. You can't change nobody else. And it's that you can't change nobody else. You kind of sing along with it. It's a little tag. And so hopefully when people are singing along with it, they're like, man, I really can't change anyone else. Like posting all these Instagram stories about how people are on the wrong side of this or that, like isn't going to do it. It ain't going to work. So what can work? What can we do different that will work? Making art works, thinking more works, being humble and letting people see that you're not self-assured and you're still working through things, that like little things like this are useful. And then some things just don't work at all. So it's like good to move past those things. You can't change other people. You can only work on yourself. And that's where the real revolution starts, is everyone focusing on themselves and growing and improving themselves. I mean, that's something that's hard to stop right there.
Man, that right there, all I kept hearing right there when you was talking is just when Marcus Garvey said that emancipate yourself,
Oh my God.
free
I love
yourself from
Marcus
mental
Garvey.
slavery. And then Bob Marley put it in
Yeah.
his song. You know what I'm saying?
Really amazing.
Emancipate your. You got that right there. That's the core of roots right there. That's
Please,
for
actually, if you're gonna be a Rastafarian, please actually read Rastafarian, because I read this stuff. I'm not a Rastafarian. I know it's in there. I know a lot of Rastafarians that don't know what's in there. You know. How about until the color of a man's eyes, of the man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes, there will be war. And then still we have people doing racial movements, and it's like, and meanwhile, like the scientific community will tell you there's only one human race, and then people will tell you trust the science and we're different races. So it's like you're contradicting yourself and you don't even know it. And it's like, I'm not mad at you. I'm just wishing that you'd stop doing that. And there's some way we could be on the same page. I feel like we could help each other more. You know?
like you said, think more.
Yeah, think more.
Think more. You
Yeah,
think
be humble,
read
you
and
know? Yeah.
exactly.
And
That right
nothing
there
is
is
simple. Nothing in life is simple. If anything seems simple, good guy versus bad guy, you know what I mean? Then you know
mhm,
that you're on some useless surface level. You got to dig a lot deeper, you know?
right.
Yeah.
That's so like divine thinking right
Yeah.
there. Like critical thinking is very lacking, and it whenever critical thinking is lacking, it makes actually executing very difficult.
Yeah. And then what makes the decisions is the emotions, which is even worse, you know? When you're confused, the natural response to confusion or surprise is like kind of like an angry response. Like if someone cuts you off, you instantly get kind of angry and you didn't even mean to. You know what I mean? Or if somebody is saying something you don't understand, you're just getting mad. You know, I mean, you can see it in the street. People just getting so mad at each other, and they're both passionate. This one's on this side, that one's on that side. They're trying to debate and explain, but they're mad. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't allow yourself. I never get angry at anyone but myself, and I don't let anyone see it. I haven't. I literally I don't even have to fight it. I never get angry at other people. It just doesn't happen. I don't hate other people. Like I've conquered these things, and then what's left to do is just work more on yourself. You know what I mean? So it's like now I got to conquer. Why do I get angry at myself? So I'm just trying to improve myself as a person because I don't know what the heck else to do. You know, so it's like I like to focus on understanding and then living in accordance with understanding. You know, so those are my two big
That's
things.
great way to put it. I always say you got to be better than the person you was yesterday and surround yourself with people who are doing the same thing. You can't surround yourself with
Yeah.
people who want to be who they were yesterday because that gets you pulled into the trap. And
Unless you have like the Christ consciousness in that, and you've got to go straight into the heart of the leper camp, you know, if you have the power to do that. But I don't know if any living man has the power to conquer themselves like that. But that is kind of like the that's what we're aspiring to, you know.
yeah,
I
exactly. That's exactly the road that we're trying to get to.
Yeah, yeah, but we're not there. We're not there yet. That's for
No,
sure. So
exactly.
yeah, but you know, yeah, but we're trying to be positive, and that's the main thing about reggae is it is like it's supposed to be positive, you know, and also it's supposed to be for children, you know, music that the children can use and the adults and the children can enjoy it together, you know. So that's huge. Yeah, I hate the idea of this music is only for adults. It's like what kind of adults, you know, what's it about, you know? What is it? Why can't kids see it? Like, is it shameful? I don't know. It's like that's probably not right though, because there's complicated stuff in adult relationships. It's not for kids, but it's not like you have to hide it from the kids because it's going to turn them into like a killer or something. You know what I mean? There's like music you got to hide from kids. You can't let your kids listen to drill. Like you crazy? You can't. You really can't. Music really has a big effect on people. So it's like I wish you know reggae was more popular, but I think in order for contemporary regular to get more popular, it has to be better. I think it has to get better, you know? I think reggae had like a real moment, American reggae, I'm talking about, had a real moment, I would say like 2009 through 2013. Great albums came out. The Green had like two great albums, Tribal Seeds, two great albums, The Expanders, two great albums, Slightly Stupid put out two great albums in a row. And it's like everything was cooking, you know? And then kind of the festival model took over and a lot of other things changed and stuff. And it's like a lot of those, I mean, you know, a lot. I haven't heard a special American reggae album in over a decade. I'll just put it that way. There's plenty of like, you know, they're fine. It's fine. You can bob to it, and the music's nothing wrong with it really. But I haven't heard anything special, and I am hearing special stuff in other genres that are just having their moment in the sun right now. But those genres don't have the built-in positivity and roots and culture and all that stuff. So let's get reggae more popular. You know, let's make it let's all these established artists, you know what I mean? I wish they made more money so they had more freedom to be creative and experimental and to try new things, you know. But like a lot of these guys, I know they're stuck in this model where you gotta tour and you gotta sell the merch and you can never stop. Like you're never gonna be wealthy. You're gonna eke out an upper middle class life in music, and that doesn't give you the freedom to create. You're never going to be able to do what a Phil Collins or, even like a Michael Jackson or any of these people that really spent the second half of their career, once they had all that fame, they traded it in on. They were like, this is what I really want to do now, is trade in on all this success to see like what I can produce that's like new or different. So we got to get these artists paid more, honestly, so that they have the freedom and they don't have to put out an album every 2 years. It's really impossible to put out a good album every 2 years. It's not impossible. I mean, Midnight did it, obviously, but not many other people can do it.
Right. Right. And the fact they're trying to get them paid more, you got a lot of promoters that or venues that don't want to
Yeah.
pay for them to come over here.
And they're in the
like,
same boat. They're in the same crap economy. You know who's not sharing this economy with us is Spotify and like the tech magnates in San Francisco. They've got to create a model that allows successful artists to make positive music, basically, and not to follow trends. And that doesn't exist. So it's like a dog chasing its own tail. You're not allowed to create the new kind of popular music because you got to continue to chase the current trend so you can make $300,000 this year and support your wife and kid.
Exactly. Now, for my listeners that don't actually keep up with the streaming news and stuff, let's talk about the Spotify thing for briefly. I want
I'm probably not totally educated on it, but yeah, let's try.
But yeah, so we just know from what I know about the streaming services, the streaming pay, the way that they pay on the streaming and stuff, it's just fractions.
Ridiculous.
Fractions. An artist does not get paid what their art is worth. And I know it's the same way on podcasts. I want to let you know, Reggae Hour is not on Spotify. We do not have a channel. We don't have a channel on Spotify at all. And it's because they don't want to. They have all this advertising pay that comes in, and they don't pay out.
Yep. Yeah.
And it leaves the artist or the producer of that because this is intellectual property.
Yeah.
And they're not getting their just due for it. That's why Tidal, Tidal or Deezer, which one Jay-Z own?
Tidal.
That's neither one. Tidal, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's why they are known for paying artists the top amount so far. What I've heard.
Right.
I haven't done any music because, like you said, with the children not being, I had my kids and I was like, I can't let my kids hear none of this.
Tidal. The music sounds way better on Tidal and Deezer. Like the compression on Spotify, it makes it sound like it.
Yes.
How did we let this out of the studio, bro? It sounds like this, and you listen to it, the master, and you're like, oh no, it sounds great. Like, what the hell is going on Spotify? Why is everything crushed? I don't know, man. I mean, the people at Spotify have to realize they're killing the golden goose, and then they have no eggs left to sell. You know what I mean? So it's like they don't want to do that, but I think things are going to balance out. But right now is rough, man, and we can't allow multiple generations of kids seeing that the value of music is zero, because there is a potential that we will run out of music. Like, that's not impossible. You know what I mean?
And then all we will have is AI music, and
you'll have your family on the porch with the with the what do you call it, the
banjo,
the Emmett Otter band on the porch, or you could go jam in the basement or whatever, but no one's going to hear it halfway across the world. Maybe that's better, man. Maybe we don't need to be eating out of season fruits coming from across the world and having mangoes in January in New York City and stuff. Maybe it's bad to have like so much. Maybe it's better if we pare it down some. I don't really know, but I know one thing for sure, and that's it's not sustainable, the streaming payout model right now, and it's really hampering the quality of the music and the connection people have to the music. And we need because like if you think about it, man, like music literally is actually the most valuable thing in the world. And so it's like I'm kind of, and I like economics and stuff like that too. So I'm like, how do you take the most, like, how do you make gold free? How are people giving away gold? How do you have 99 cent gold, and you get free refills, infinite pieces of gold? Because if you really think about it, when like an athlete comes out, let's take like LeBron James, man, like one of the most wealthiest men ever. He comes out to the court to what? Music. And then the president comes out to what? Music. And then Bruce Springsteen says, hey, don't come out to my song. I don't like you. Now Bruce Springsteen is more powerful than the president. You know what I mean? That really happened, So it's like, how did music go from like the thing that everyone was like, please, can we use your music? Like, and like, all these rich, wealthy people are just begging to get close to it. Can I meet the musician? And then we take it and we give it zero value, where that's going to have like ripple effects throughout the whole economy. We just took the most valuable thing and said it's free. So it's like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't really have an answer. I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, no, and then they make so much money off the advertisers and don't share it. That's what I had to learn about, because with my platform, I'm on ASCAP. So every time I play somebody's song, I pay every time. And I've noticed that is the reason why people come and listen to these platforms is because they got good quality music. Some artists, the most popular artists, have great quality music on Spotify, so that's what attracts people in. But then you got to the artists that's regional or just local, but they got their music on there, and it sounds just like the music that's supposed to be played with the big name artists, but it doesn't. It doesn't have that same quality, and there's a reason for that. And they still getting that advertisement
Yeah.
revenue while hurting these artists that aren't with the big labels. And it makes artists feel like they got to go to a big label, and you
Yeah.
don't. You don't. I know that there's an artist in the hip hop community right now. I forgot his name, but he just got certified RIAA double platinum
Hmm.
without a label. Never had a
Right. Yeah.
label. He's always
Yeah.
been independent.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, but isn't that kind of like the exception that proves the rule? Like, there's like one or two Chinese guys in the NBA. That doesn't mean everyone in China is super tall. It means there's one. When there is one that's tall, it's like a news story. So it's like the independent artist, like an Oliver Anthony, who goes with no labels. In his first, he puts out one single and makes like $100 million off it, or so. It's like not very common, like. And he had a lot of help from like influencers, sharing it and stuff. I mean, that's like the unknown commodity that really is like these influencers, men, are just accepting money to play your song I've had people offer me, I'll shake my ass to your song on TikTok. It'll get 6 million views in the first day for $5,000 or something. I'm just like, that's not what I want my life to be about. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just, if there's like there's got to be a price to that. That can't be, that's not who it's just, it ain't, if that's the only way, then I'll do something different, and I'm totally down to do something different. I'll always keep making music, but I don't have to keep like pursuing it like professionally. I can just do it for myself and do other things, which isn't tragic at all. I mean, maybe I will. Everything's connected anyhow. I mean, if you can learn to do one thing, you can learn to do a lot of other things. You know what I mean? And but I don't want to sound negative, because I do think that it has to come back into balance, and artists have to get paid, and maybe something will happen where we come to a crux with AI, where people really see like this isn't doing it for us, like we don't want to make our own Marvel movie with any actor we want in it. We want to see the actual one,
right,
canon.
right.
You know the word canon, like the official, like
Yes.
this is official
Oh
canon.
yeah.
How are we even going to have that? You know what I mean? So it's like that's a hard concept to lose, canon.
Right. Right.
Some things you want to
And
keep straight. How was it? How was it always? Can we read the same version of the Bible we had, or are we going to keep just changing it? I mean, it's kind of important to like look at the original versions of things.
facts. I like the way you put that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, a lot of people don't understand. Like even with music, that's canon. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
you
That's what I
you
mean.
have
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you have the
People
artists
go
with their
back and people change songs that have been released. Did you know that?
yes, yes,
That's wild. That's
yes.
wild. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what
Oh
to think of
my
it. It's very futuristic.
yeah, and it's been happening for a long time. It's
Yeah.
actually been happening for a. I remember back in the '90s. I remember a Tupac song. And the what how do you want it? In the second verse, he names a certain person,
Dolores Tucker.
Dolores Tucker. If
Yeah.
you find that version, you will be very lucky. And you
Oh,
need to
really?
keep that. Yes, there's a whole nother version out there that he took,
Oh
because I guess
no.
because of a lawsuit or something
Oh
like that.
my gosh.
I don't know the full
Unbelievable. Yeah.
backstory, but yeah, he took her name out there.
Oh my god.
Because I used to do that song on karaoke. That's
Oh
how
wow.
I know.
And now
So
people will say
every
that's a Mandela effect.
yes,
Like, oh,
exactly.
it was a
Because I'm
real
like,
song. I remember it. Yeah. It's trippy, man.
yes,
That's crazy because like
exactly.
you can change album art, and I've actually thought of doing that. Like I had one specific song that I released, and like kind of like I've really not pride myself, but I'm pleased that we've had really good creative, like original album art for everything. Every single we've got some really good looking, unique album art. And then there's one single where it kind of wasn't, and I was like, should I go back and change it? I feel like I should go back and change it. But then I was like, no, just don't be a perfectionist. So just leave it the way it is. But it is crazy. It is crazy, man. I mean, and you can change your name, by the way. I can't on Spotify. Like if I change my name, I lose all my views. But if you're Kanye, you can just do it as many times as you want. So obviously, there's like some special
Wow.
access panel you can get if you're
Right.
you're really successful.
Like they gonna still push you. Like who is
Yeah.
Malcolm D. Ruiner? Like
Oh, yeah.
why he sound like Kanye?
Yeah. Exactly, man.
Man, look here.
It's Crazy.
Wow, man. Seth, man, I want to thank you for sharing with the way you did, man. Like this really did not feel like you was talking about music as much as talking about time, growth, and just staying honest with yourself while the world keeps moving. And I really respect the way that you hold the roots without getting stuck in them and how the music stays connected to lived experience instead of the image or just expectation. Like I appreciate you trusting the space and taking the time to reason with us. Much respect. And I gotta say, man, anytime you got any new music, we want to be able to hear it here.
Oh, that's amazing, bro. Thank you. This has been one of the best interviews ever for sure. And you're a very thoughtful guy, and I had a lot of fun. And hopefully that the audience enjoys it. You know what I mean? And hopefully they enjoy. We didn't even talk that much about music, but I think that's good, man, because you got to know all the stuff that comes first before it. You got to put one foot in front of the other. So this is important stuff for people who maybe are thinking younger, want to become an artist. You know what I mean? Instead of chasing trends, you gotta build your own character, turn yourself into a character, and then you'll be the kind of person that has infinite things to say.
Already, exactly. I like that, man. Dude, hey, I'm gonna give you some time right now. Tell us about your band. I want you to and give them a shout out, man, because without them, man, this a lot of this wouldn't happen.
Yeah, we got to go to Hawaii this past year and play a few shows, which was really chill. Big G, lead guitar, my homie Benji, the bassy, my boy Fern Dog on drums. We got Nature Boy on keys. My friend Joe Spliff, percussionist from the band Spliff Vision. I didn't even bring up I have a record label too, where I produce like younger talented artists and stuff. We'll talk about
Oh
that
wow.
next time, man. But
Oh yeah,
yeah, shout
definitely.
out to the
We
VBDC.
still got time. We still got time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, check out Split Vision too. They're the first band we're putting out on my label, Starry Music. I started Starry Music to find, not to find, but I already found incredibly talented songwriters, like real ass songwriters. They just got their acoustic guitar and their voice, and they're writing hits. And I'm like, this is perfect because I will enjoy making it into like a crisp production with all the other instruments and the arrangement and everything, you know. So Split Vision, check them out. Straight out of San Pedro, straight out of the ghetto, man. These guys really live the real ghetto experience, and they're coming with positive reggae music. They're a family band out of San Pedro, so check out Split Vision. We did 2 really nice music videos and put out 3 or 4 singles, and we got a whole album coming from them. And so yeah, also if you can, check out and support Starry Music. Thank you.
Already. Now, how did you find Split Vision?
Man, just they're friends. Like I seen them playing, and I was like, this is the real deal. Like, I'm very, when it comes to music, kind of picky. So like, I won't say anything negative. I just won't say anything. But like, I'll say a lot if a real ass songwriter comes on. I'm like, these songs sound like hits, man. These lyrics are good. Like, this is they've got it. All they need is someone to record it. So it's like these guys have had it, for a long time, and like they just need someone to help them. They're it's harder when you're in the ghetto, and you don't have a lot of money and you have a lot of other problems keep coming up. So it's like, I just want to see them complete this album and get it out. I'm not trying to turn them into the next stick figure or anything like that. I just want them to have the album, like, and be able to play it and be proud of it and be like, we accomplished this. It wasn't for nothing. This is like our permanent token that like we did something we produced.
See, that's wonderful, man. You give it back to the youth, man. See, that is roots reggae right there. Like a lot of gatekeepers try to they take these people talent and then they don't give them the game. They don't tell them nothing about how to continue this without them so that they can have to hold on to them, and you giving them the game. Like that's roots right there.
I'm trying, man. It feels good. It feels so good to like help people when you can too. I'm sure everybody knows that. So it feels good to help if you can. And like it's good to support your friends, you know what I mean? But it's also good to support the best bands out there, not just your friends' bands, or your local bands or the homies that you play with or something like, like if there's someone out there that's let the people know, hey, this guy's like, you don't get too many real good songwriters coming around like that, So Conquer Spliff from Spliff Vision, he's one of them, the homegirl Dora Lee. So, we got some projects we're working on with that too. The younger generations and, yeah, man, keep good. I want it too. I want to walk into a club and I want to hear a good new song playing, be like, oh, this is fire. This is good as the old stuff, and it's brand new. So I want more like that,
Right. Well, Split Vision has plenty of space on our platform, so we're going to definitely link up it very shortly, probably even after this interview about
Oh, nice.
bringing them on.
Yeah,
We'll
they're
definitely
awesome.
do that.
You should. Cool, brother.
All
Cool, man.
right. Yes. So tell us about your projects that you got coming out that you
Oh, sure.
already
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
dropped.
Well, we're hard at work on VBDC 3, the third and probably final installation of full length albums from Venice Beach Dub Club, as well as a full length Christmas album. So we've got 3 Christmas songs out already, and we're working on like a whole full album of Christmas songs. So I think this year we're just dropping one advanced single for VBDC 3 this summer. So there will be one single this summer, one, and either the whole Christmas album or just one Christmas song this Christmas. So I don't want to rush anything. I want to get it right. It's all for posterity. So let's get it right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfection takes time.
Yeah.
When you're in that
Yeah.
kitchen cooking, we don't want to just eat anything. We want to eat that
Especially on a
love.
Christmas album, because that's like something,
Yes.
that goes for generations, and you've listened to the songs 100 times each every December. So it's like, it's got to be cracking, it can't be
Right.
halfway. So,
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah, man. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And then we'll play some shows. We don't play a ton of shows just because we're all like older guys and not really chasing that. But we'll play some good shows this year. So we may do tour support with a good Jamaican artist who we've worked with before. I don't want to say the name in case it doesn't happen. But yeah, just you can always follow us on Instagram. I don't post often. I only post like new content. Really, I don't do like daily anything. But if anything's coming up, you'll see it there.
That. So you're on Instagram? Are you on YouTube as well?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of music videos, man. I don't know if you've seen them, but like we work real. It's like the most unpleasant day of your life is the music video shoot day. So like I keep doing it
Yeah.
to myself, and they keep getting harder and more difficult and expensive and everything. But like
Man.
they're coming out good, man. They come out
Yeah.
looking good. So yeah. So take a look at our YouTube for sure.
Oh,
We actually
definitely.
just dropped an animated short film for a Christmas song and everything. So a lot of unique material on there. People aren't really that aware of it. So tell them, like these guys are at least trying to do something, That's what I'm saying. Just tell the people, if you see someone doing their thing or doing a good thing, like tell your people, like be your own, be be the influencer, don't wait till you have a
Right.
million, just influence the people, the 2-3 people who listen to you, that would kind of supplant the need for these millions of followers, influencers, so
Yeah, exactly.
don't
Exactly,
wait till you're
man.
famous to be influential. Just start right away.
That's how you make the mistakes in order to learn and
Oh
get
yeah,
better. If you don't make those
100%.
mistakes, you're not going to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
better.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
Well, Seth Caro, man, it was blessing having you on, man. This is a great. I like that we finally got you on. We was able to touch on some deep topics, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so glad when you dropped that philosophical word. I was like, boop, okay, we could talk then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I feel like we could talk forever and ever, man. We'll have to do another one of these at some point.
Definitely. All right, well, it was great having you on. And any shout outs that you want to give to anybody before we take off?
No, just shout out to everyone who's out there supporting Venice Beach Dub Club and our musical mission. Thank you all so much, and you're the chosen few. Yeah, man, I appreciate you. Thank you again for having me on. This was great fun.
Anytime. Everybody, you can check the show notes and get his Instagram and his YouTube link. Go ahead and reach out, connect, love, like, and share. Follow, subscribe, and make sure y'all let the whole world know, man, because the more music like this gets pushed out there, the more we can actually see a change, a revolution in what's actually, that has already been a dry spell. So we definitely want to change that.
Word.
Seth Caro, have a great night, man. And to all my listeners, tune in, turn up, and zone out. We got a little bit of music for you right now.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.